G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. This podcast is proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do ute. Today on the show, it's the 6 points leading into round 21. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, please do that wherever you're listening. Leave us a rating, leave us a review, and if you've got a local sporting highlight, it could win you $5,000 thanks to the BHP Streamer Screamer. Head to streamer.com.au/screamer for more information. Let's get into it. Let's get stuck in. What do I say? This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Chris Robinson.
Hi, mate.
I really got rattled.
Great intro.
I got rattled on the back of it. I couldn't remember what I said.
The streamer stuff is ingrained in your brain. You weren't reading that. That was just straight off.
Came straight off the top,
just
mate.
ingrained in your head.
After I drilled down a little bit off air about streaming,
About
the
a few of the
direction, the
roadmap.
future.
You did ask some probing questions.
Presentation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you asked some probing questions yesterday. I was at home, had a phone call from a WA number. I usually get a lot from Victoria.
Yeah.
Like energy supplies and stuff.
Don't pick up.
No, so I don't. But yesterday, WA, I thought, I'll grab that.
Don't pick up.
Well, I did, and it was the West.
Oh, okay. Definitely pick up there.
Yeah.
And they were saying, I see you play the game, the tipping.
The games.com.au.
So like, yeah, I do. And she's like, do you subscribe to the West? I said, yeah. How do you view your content? I was like, for fuck's sakes.
I'll write it.
Online.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to mark that down on your little account here. I was like, oh, shit, I feel like an idiot.
You should have gone, I particularly enjoy Zave's team
I
of the
should
week.
have done that, yeah.
Every Tuesday morning online.
That Hardball Gets podcast, that is a West product.
Tell you what. I don't. That's been a big part of like moving across the streamer is that random numbers. You used to ignore quite a few of them, most of them. Now, because I'm out there trying to drum up new business and build connections, I have to answer them.
Right.
So I speak to a lot of people sometimes. You know, the best ones is when it's just straight like Mandarin. Like there's not even. It's just I got no idea what's going on here.
Yeah. Or even when you answer and you hear the bip.
Yeah.
So they've obviously rung a shitload of people, and then you got to find it. Then they wait. Oh, someone's grabbed it. Hello.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
How we going? How's footy looking?
It's just a vibe, mate.
Just a vibe.
Just a vibe, Marbo.
Who's almost done with footy?
I got a second win last weekend and watched a lot. Then wait to see. I haven't even looked at the fixtures this weekend, to be honest.
Some good games. Some really good games.
17-game season, guys. You know it makes sense. 17-game season.
Yeah, it kind of
play
does,
everyone
doesn't it?
once. It's by the time we get to this point, we know who's good. We know who's just battling. We know who's horrible.
I was thinking about the coin, like because you lose the rounds, working. I don't care about it anymore.
Yeah,
I just don't care. I'll mow lawns. I'll go to a bottle shop and serve if I have to.
Yeah.
Just end it.
But we're really excited to be here until round 21. It's going to be great.
Well, that's the thing. Like, and I reckon through those bye rounds this year, it got pretty. And this is also like we've got
bye rounds too long. That's where I lost my energy.
And we've gone up to 2 kids in the household, so it's just a bit of mess of a year. And I reckon that those bye rounds are completely zoned out almost.
How untidy is your house?
Oh, it's terrible.
It's a shit show.
And then like an hour after, if I say after the kids go to bed, they generally get up then soon after. But like it's straight into the tidy up what you can. Next morning, wake up.
So your house is a disgrace, really.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah.
Robert, how's yours go?
Mine's not great, even with one child. We have a second coming, so that's just going to be
good. I was about to go, and I wasn't sure how public you wanted to go with it.
Yeah, no, we're 29 weeks now, so it's happening pretty soon.
Yeah,
it's so depressing. I just quickly got home, raced home to get changed, and I was like, I cleaned this house last night.
Yeah, I know.
Some nights you start just picking up the toys off the ground and just like, this is just going to be back here first thing next morning.
I vacuum twice a week, and now I just vacuum up their stuff. I just vacuum it. If it's there, it's gone. Sorry, it's gone.
The kitchen, you clean the whole kitchen just for that one moment of peace in the morning when you wake up and you go,
So
kitchen's cleaned.
I clean the kitchen. It's me every night. I don't get the joy of it in the morning.
He's already
I just come home. That's why when I walked in the door,
you're out the door,
the kitchen was messy again. I was like, I didn't even get, my job's now going to clean this, then cook the dinner, then clean it all again. Where do I get the enjoyment out of anything? Oh, God. I'm on the verge of breaking down. I did a podcast the other day with Selby for Maria's Magic. And Monday was a shit show for me. One of the kids wouldn't go to school.
Oh, it was daycare.
Daycare fell through.
And I got out of the car and I just oh, Sal, this was late. And I was like,
Need a cuddle?
I'm vulnerable. I said on air, I said in the podcast joking, I was like, oh, I'm vulnerable, Sal. I'm really vulnerable today. People flew into my DMs.
Oh.
Like, thanks, mate, checking in. I said, I'll just give you some love or something. Yeah. Oh, I was broken on Monday. Like, broken.
It's good to know that people out there are rallying around you, though.
If your life's running at a 3 out of 10, you say you're still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm going well, mate.
Yeah,
Right. I dive in, I'm a 3.
Yeah. All right, well, why don't you kick us off today, Robbo? Let's get into it.
Okay, well, I thought I'd have a look. So West Coast are travelling again this week. Obviously, coming off the win relieves the pressure, etc., etc. Their recent interstate games have been horrid.
Disgusting.
And particularly drilling down, the starts to those games have been absolutely abominable. So these are their past 5 interstate games and where they've been at quarter time.
It's a tough watch.
Down 57 against Carlton at quarter time.
Hard to come back from.
Down 33 against Brisbane at quarter time. Down 52 against Sydney at quarter time.
And that ended in 200.
Down 34 against Adelaide at quarter time.
That was 100.
Down 31 against Hawthorn at quarter time. So the past 5 first quarters, they haven't even just been able to hang for, let's just get a foothold for 10, 12, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They've been pumped from the get-go. So
unbelievable pumping, isn't it? Cause, and they
31 plus every time.
Like Simo can sell that in a couple of those games. The second halves were pretty even in some of them. Which is great with a young team. Which is not. But how do you sell like a message if it was the other way around? You're with the good team till half
Exactly, it's a completely different
you can
lens,
say,
isn't
hey,
it?
we were at the level
you hang for a half, and then the golfing class starts to emerge, right?
But if you get blown at the start, it's really hard to hang your hat on. Oh, the second half we won the clearances, or you just love
because the other team were already up by 150. They probably took the foot off the pedal.
You just love to see them compete till half time.
So how do you change that? How do you address that? And this is the thing that Frio's grappling with as well. Not to that extent, obviously, but starting a game strong.
I've got a theory. I don't know how fast and powerful and fit at that explosive level some of the West Coast team is. So when everyone's 100% fit,
everyone's better than them.
I just think they're fitter and faster.
So that's even more damning, isn't it? Because as we say, if it falls away in the second half and you go, okay, some of our young guys don't have that match.
But I reckon when they get in the grind, when it gets a grind, they're better.
Yeah.
Like when they start grinding away. But you go through it. Like who do they really have that's got that explosive endurance? They can run it. Like they could run everywhere.
Well, Yo will start this week. Adam Simpson
but he's
just
not
said
fit.
That. No. Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The question is what kind of fitness
level he might have 2 or 3 good big efforts in him, but then he'll fall away.
Yeah. Elijah Hewitt has the potential for it, but he's a kid.
It's still
who can run a 6-minute 2K and have some speed.
Yeah.
It's like they've got one or the other. It's just not the combos are there.
Harley Reid.
The kids. Look, the kids are going to be fine. It's
just a long grind. It's just a long time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while.
It's just tough when you're trying to build that belief and trying to build it when it's just so obvious early that you're going to get blown out.
The selling point for next year with the kids and Harley Reid or whatever, if you can play, say, what do they play? 12 games on the road next year? Gather around and whatever.
11,
that in 7 of them you're in at halftime. I reckon that's a good sell. So the kids walk off and go, shit, I played on Paddy Cripps for half, and I had 12 touches.
We kind of hung.
Yeah.
We hung with them for a
bit.
They
haven't done it this year. Yep. They're going to lose those games next year, no doubt about that. But if they hang with them, I think a supporter would enjoy that.
It's just a good point, at the end.
Was that a good point?
Yeah, that's why it was just greeted with the old
moment of
stoic
reflection.
Can we insert Fitzpatrick and just change Ryan to Xavier?
Oh, yeah.
Sum that up really well.
You summed that up really well.
I'll go off the back of the Dacos boys. No dramas with Nick's 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
No dramas.
He's the one? So is he the... No, there's been a couple.
The lizard had a little...
That's right. The lizard and Nick Dacos.
But my point is around the ones I've spoken.
You should work in that, the integrity office where you approve the contracts.
Yeah.
Just send this
just like for your own good, take 2 years off that.
You put the wrong number on your submission. You take it back
6 years. I mean 3. Yeah, no drama. Like Harry Himmelberg doesn't need a fifer.
He's a 6, isn't he?
It's 6 years.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a sixer.
I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
I'd just let him go.
I wasn't.
Sorry, Harry.
I certainly wasn't.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. But anyway, I want to talk about the Dacos' father-son. And take Gary Ablett Jr. out of the father-son conversation because I think we all agree that he's probably the best father-son we've seen.
So you're talking about the fathers combined with the sons?
No, just the free draft pick, the selection.
Just the kid.
Who's been your favourite father-son over a period? Who's been the father-son, the son of the father?
Tom Hawkins is pretty good.
Do you like Hawk?
Yeah.
Matty Scarlett for mine.
Matt Scarlett, yeah.
We forget about
Geelong
Scarlett.
has
Oh,
a
mate, Geelong have done
Loaded.
unbelievably well out of it.
And now Collingwood are in that phase too with Moore and the Dacos boys.
The reason why I brought this up too, because I read an article, Luke Hodges' son.
Cooper Hodge.
Cooper,
15-year-old
15, All-Australian this year, and they said Hawthorn have had a horrible record with father-sons. They just haven't had them.
Who's the kid who played in the Flag? Blonde-haired, bit of a different cat.
Langford,
that was it.
He had a fantastic 2014.
Yeah, he
kicked
kind of
that,
dropped off the face, didn't
fell
he?
off the face of the earth.
Yeah. I'd completely forgotten about him too.
Yeah, a little bit of Xavier Richards about it.
People did like to Xavier Richards,
remember
held out for
Richards?
the deal and disappeared.
And then just disappeared. Mate, it's almost like they've been taken in a movie or something.
He has been disappeared.
Like Xavier Richards just was in their best 22 grand final day.
Yeah.
He's in witness protection.
And they're gone.
Yeah.
Has anyone checked in on that?
No, is he alive?
Is he with us? But Will Langford's a little like that. 2014, he was such an important part in that premiership and fell off the face of the earth. But I thought Matty Scarlett was my favourite father-son.
Fantastic.
You on?
I've got a soft spot for Libba these days.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And he's really in the mould of his old man as well.
How much they help father-sons?
Yeah, and the dogs have got Darcy now as well, which is potentially going to be another large one.
The Hodge one's interesting because he probably would want to go to Hawthorn where his old man played, but he's a Brisbane Academy player too.
Well,
so
his family lives in Brisbane.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to pick because he's coming through the academy.
I have no idea. I texted Hodgie this morning actually just saying, oh, mate, how good. Congratulations to Cooper. I haven't heard back, so now it's been an hour.
Hodgie's seen the number pop up just like we see the random numbers. It's like, who's this?
Yeah.
Now I go back and give it a thumbs up, so it pops back into his feed as a new message.
Give your own message.
Give your own message a thumbs up.
Yeah, so if someone doesn't write back to me quick enough, I'll go thumb it up and it's like right back.
Thumbs up to your own message.
Yeah, hurry up and respond.
Wow.
Because it then brings it back into the chat all the time. Mate, it's a real power play.
Why don't you just go the ... question mark?
No.
As a second message.
Because it's more like direct, just liking the message that you need to respond.
Isn't that more passive aggressive? It's just like, hey, this was really good and you still haven't responded to it.
So Em didn't write back to a message I wrote to her today.
Yeah.
I'll just give it a thumbs up and I'll get a
response.
He's
doing it right. This is happening in real time.
I often send if
I'll get a response from that now.
I'll send one if it's someone I'm pretty close to.
Yeah.
And they don't respond in ages, I'll just send a follow up saying, cool.
Good chat.
Yeah.
Good chat.
Mate, just save your energy and just thumb it.
That's the interesting one with the academy stuff, I thought then. Buddy's got, let's say has he got two sons? One son?
It's two kids, yeah.
I think it's one of each.
Let's say his son or his daughter, because the father-daughter rule is there as well. So they'll grow up and have their pick of, if they follow footy, if they give a damn about footy at all, likely going to have their pick of three. Because they're sitting right there in the Gold Coast hinterland, so they would probably go through that academy and get straight right there. So they would be able to pick from Hawthorn, Sydney, or Gold Coast.
Hoping those
we'd probably have like
academies are
7
gone.
flags by then.
Let's get rid of all those academies.
Gold Coast.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Gold Coast Academy kids coming through this year, that Jed
Just get rid of
Walter,
them.
Ethan Reid and the other one, I tried to look where they were all from, because obviously you wanted to see which junior clubs around.
One was
Brisbane.
born in WA, wasn't he?
One was there. Jed Walter was born in WA. That Jake Rogers midfielder moved up from Victoria when he was 9. They're not like... They've developed them, but they
didn't find them in Auskick.
No, they didn't find them in the junior rugby league program and swing them across.
Totally. Oh, he got the reply.
That's what happens.
He's done it.
That's what happens, mate. It's the best trick in the
Look at
world.
the magic.
Instantaneous reply.
What was it? Where do we start, Spawn on? Best father sons. Who's yours? Oh, yours, Scarlett.
This has turned into a texting revolution. This will revolutionise the way that we talk to each
You
other.
look really concerned. Is that not the answer you were hoping for?
Right.
Not a great response.
No. It was just a message about it. Actually, this is how good a person I am. I actually text her saying, "Mate, might as well go for a run or whatever after work. I'll get dinner and get the kids showered." Cause different to no other night.
Jeez, legend alert over here.
No, I just said she said she's coming home for a cough. So anyway.
Oh, that's good. It's better to text that you can go for a run than you should go for a run.
Yeah.
How long was the text sitting there for?
Al?
And the thumbs up and then instantaneous reply.
Wow.
That's a
It's
game
a different
changer.
game, mate. Because people go, far out, he's pissed off.
And you got all these
That's
credits in
great.
the
Look,
bank as well.
I might have to do one of my own right
if
now.
you're
actually.
courting a male or female, I don't know whether I'd thumb it after an hour.
After an hour.
Let it brew for a little bit longer than that. But
If you went out for the first time the night before.
yeah,
just
if
set
you've
the
been
fire,
together
set
for like
the fire.
11 years and you just can't be bothered because you know she's seen it probably,
Yeah.
or Hodgie known him 20 years, just give it a thumb.
Yeah. Question, they always talk about having a most improved rule in footy. And whenever people talk about most improved, they kind of talk about someone who's gone from it's the clouds to being like a good player. I'm interested in the ones who went from a good player to like top tier.
Yeah.
So I've got a bit of a list from this year. Let me know if there's any you want to throw in. And I kind of went off the AFL coaches' votes, the ones that pop up in that list that made me think. So these guys are all top 25. Would these guys be, if you had a most improved rule,
Would they qualify?
Would you have them in the mix?
Okay.
So the first one is, and you can definitely argue it, is Nick Dacos. He's gone from a very good first-year player to almost the best player
So
in the competition.
very, very, very
Yeah,
good.
well, yes, technically he's improved, yes.
What would you say? What's your percentage? Give us a percentage for each of these, what they've improved year on year.
What he's improved, 30%.
He's
Yeah,
probably improved
25,
30.
yeah.
Zach Butters,
Yeah, 15, 20.
Yeah, 15.
15. So he's already around the mark. Jordan Dawson,
20,
I'd say 25.
22 and a half.
22 and a half. Caleb Sarong.
It's similar. I think it's probably a 21.5.
Are you writing these down?
Yeah, just so I got on this. I just something to do with my hands.
Okay.
And Errol Goulden.
Lots and lots and
Errol,
lots.
yeah,
He's 30 something, yeah.
30.
Yeah, he's gone next couple of levels this season.
31.56.
31. I was going to go 31.56. I'll note that down. Any others you want to throw in the list for like most improved?
But then
for the
if
year?
we're putting
From that
Errol,
elite tier.
Well, no, but even
so we
let's
probably need to
discuss a
boost Nick
wider one.
Dacos then. Because he's the same
If he
age.
jumped 30.
He's the same age as. Did I say 30? Right? Okay.
Yeah, we
I thought I
boosted.
said
We put
younger.
him at 30.
Okay, that's right.
So he's probably so. Errol just nudges him in this list.
Yeah.
But is there anyone else like from the wider comp that you would throw up as has made a significant?
I think
leap
from
this
that
year?
the next tier down, Mason Wood has gone from
Yeah.
good to very good in terms of his rise. He's probably dropped off a little bit in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
But he was kind of synonymous with that rise of St Kilda,
Okay.
certainly in the first half of the season.
They're probably hanging on, eh? You
I'm
feel like
putting
they hang
Jack
on?
Viney in there.
Oh, because you
Mate.
mentioned it the other day.
Yeah, he's in.
He's probably been playing at that level for
No, not the level he's played last month.
Oh, well, that'd be a controversial one if that came through.
Yeah, imagine that.
Jack Viney, most improved.
What about Will Day?
Will Day probably
Yeah,
gets
he's in that
around the
combo.
mark.
Yep, totally.
Has he taken a step back the last few weeks? Not that would affect his overall thing, but
Do you want to
probably
fight?
just getting
He's
tired.
pretty good
What,
passer,
yeah.
isn't he?
How dare you?
How many games do you play at Hawthorn?
Not enough.
Ted, which one
Nah.
of your kids? Albie you'd mark as the...
Ted's starting to love the footy now.
Is he?
Loves it, yeah. Not real big on like footy injuries, like falling over and stuff. That's
Yep.
usually tantrums, but hey, he enjoys it.
It happens.
Yeah.
Ted's he's got good genetics. He won't get injured much.
Well, if he goes to the other side, he'll be all right. If he throws to M's side,
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah,
got
he actually
they
does
got-
have a great pedigree.
they got way better breeding.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is
way
true.
better.
All right, that's it.
So I wanted to have a quick look at two of this season's more intriguing teams, which is GWS and Adelaide, right? So they've played, the two games that they played against each other are kind of a microcosm of their seasons as a whole. So Adelaide started really well, and then the Giants have come from nowhere, beaten them both times, games that Adelaide probably should have won. And now the Giants are starting to come really, really good.
Round one, that was 40-odd points, wasn't it?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was another one a few weeks later. That wasn't quite as stark, but the Giants
no.
were down by
Yeah.
3 goals on the road at three-quarter time and came over the top. So both of these clubs came from the same section of the draw. They were both bottom 6 last year, so they both had the same kind of draw. But with the way that the ladder has panned out this season, one of them has been handed a big favour and one of them hasn't. So Adelaide's been really punished. So if you look at, they've both had 5 games. This is by the time the season's finished, and this is with the current top 8, provided it stays the same. They've both had 5 games against
How
the bottom
deep are you
4.
going to go into this? Do I need to back Adelaide and make the 8 next year?
Yeah.
You might let me get on
Yeah.
before you give too
A
much
little
detail.
bit, yeah. We're not going live to Ezzo, so you've got a few minutes.
Oh, you good point.
So they're both going to finish with 5 games against the bottom 4. So no one's had the
Right.
big Eagles favour. But GWS are going to finish with 4 games against the top 4, so one each against the top 4. Adelaide are going to finish with 7
Jeez.
against the current top 4, and they've got 1 game to go, but they've been 3-3 so far in those games.
So they've actually held up well.
So Adelaide have won the most games against the current top 4 of any club in the comp this season.
They're sitting
They're
in
3-3.
Is that right?
Yeah, but they've had to play them 7 times, whereas the Giants have only played them 4 times.
Imagine if West Coast had to play him 7 times.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, totally.
What's the Giants record?
The Giants' record is 1-2. They've still got 1 to come.
1 and 2, and what were Adelaide?
3-3.
3-3, sorry.
Yeah, with 1 to come. So the Crows have 3 wins against the current top 4. They've been flawless against the bottom 4, but they're still sitting 12th and they've got work to do to make finals.
And they've been busted open by a couple of those mid-ranges.
Yeah. So I think they're tracking much better than we
We
might
love
give
our
them credit
Adelaide.
for.
We do
We love our
we're
Adelaide.
big on Adelaide. They're going to,
We had them win
didn't
the
get-
flag 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, the top 4, and then for some reason,
Maybe not
when
quite
we
accurate.
revisited that, it
Yeah.
wasn't accurate at all. I wonder which one of our boys are going to recruit this off-season, because they didn't do Redmond. There's got to be someone. It'll be a left field.
Kieran
I know.
Briggs.
Kieran Briggs.
Kieran Briggs somehow.
Yeah, I've got.
Oh,
I've
you're going to
got
get
one.
Yowie in.
I just reckon he'd dominate.
Yeah.
If he was fit, he'd be an unbelievable fit.
Mm-hmm.
The one that sparks is that obviously in that top 4 they played Port Adelaide twice
Yep,
as a
of
showdown.
course.
That still does have the anything can happen in a showdown element.
It really
The
does.
other ones don't.
Yeah, it
So
really
West
does.
Coast Fremantle now for 10 years has been the
Yeah.
better team wins.
Yeah.
Same in Brisbane, Gold Coast, but barring last week was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Last week, the week before, whenever.
Last week.
But that one still has the
Going
to it. Doesn't
there
matter what the
hasn't been
ladder
an
is.
upset, and I'd have to look at go back and look at the odds numbers to back it up. There hasn't been an upset in a derby since that second one in 2015
When's the
where
last
Freo
good
was
derby?
top, and then I think that was the Josh Hill derby where he came over
We
the top
beat
and
him
won the
by
medal.
10 goals or something.
Yeah,
I actually
on a
saw
Sunday
a
afternoon.
photo last night of me. I was back in the Sports Channel days interviewing Josh Hill in the rooms. He had his Ross Glendenning
right.
medal on.
Is that
There's a
2015?
rare moment.
That
in
was the
history.
second one of 2015. That's to mine. That's the last time there's been an upset in the derby. in
And it
terms
wouldn't
of
have been
the
a
team
big
that was
upset
favourite
either.
didn't
We
win.
were third.
No,
No,
because
they were
West
both-
Coast were going
they
right.
played in the flag that year.
In a
It's
grand
just,
final.
It's,
Yeah.
I can't remember the last good derby. Has there been a
Yeah,
good
there hasn't
one?
been too many. I mean, Sarong kicking that sealer goal.
That was not a bad.
But was
2 or
that
3
a
years ago was
COVID
pretty
goal?
no, I feel there was a crowd.
It
Might have been
crowd.
capped.
Yeah.
yeah, I think there was a crowd there.
There
And
was,
even
yeah.
you think about the Brayshaw Gaff one, it wasn't actually a good game.
Nah,
Like, it just had
West
this
Coast,
moment
West
that
Coast
you
good
remember.
Freo about
that was a
weren't
Yeah,
they?
and it just wasn't.
But you're right. Showdowns are
still
anything
are.
happens. Anything
Yeah.
does happen. There's
Well,
always
the
some
year before
There's
spice.
Jordan
one thing you
Dawson's
can
run.
guarantee won't happen in a showdown. It won't be on free-to-air television.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the only guarantee.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't know.
And if you
Couldn't
get
tell you.
concussed, you're going straight back out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Last one from me. Mark Evans heading over to Italy to get Damien Hardwick's signature.
Someone's got to do it.
I mean, it's a junket if I've ever seen
Someone's
one.
got to do it. Thoughts and prayers.
We've all worked for a long time now. Not
Yep.
a long time in terms of actual working life, but long enough. What's the best junket you've been sent on? Have you ever been sent on a junket, and what was it? And what was the
I
best
went
one?
to Hong Kong to drive a Nissan Leaf.
What?
So, there's, like in the motoring
Yeah.
industry, there seems to be still all these junkets. And the motoring editor at the time, Sam, his back was playing or something. He couldn't do the flight, and so he just threw it across my desk. Said, "Do you want to do this?" So they put up in a very nice hotel.
Yeah.
Taken out to some very nice restaurants and drove a Leaf around one day.
That was it?
Wrote a car review.
Oh, you had to write the review.
Right, I had to write a car review. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last time. Yeah, last time I've been overseas. That was just before kids and COVID.
Yeah, right.
Brutal. I'll tell you the worst one I had. Got a junket to go up to Kalbarri and do sort of like, touristy kind of stuff there.
Pre or post
And-
cyclone?
Pre.
Yeah.
This is almost 10 years ago probably. And everything was great, but one of the things was like deep sea fishing or whatever, like go out
Yeah.
on this boat for half a day. And I was like, I'll go get some like Travacam or whatever, like just before I go. But it was a Sunday morning, chemist was closed. Like, I should be pretty right. Went out there and I was just so cool.
Nothing worse.
And there's nothing you
Nah.
can do about it. And I felt so bad because they're trying to, spruik this whole thing. And this is,
Just vomiting.
our amazing town. And I'm just like, oh yeah, this is terrific. Just like over the side,
It's funny,
vomiting.
it's funny you
God.
mentioned that because one of my mates' birthdays just they said, "Oh, happy birthday!" mate." I said, "Oh, me and another one of our good mates." You know the bloke who delivered the speech to Robbie Williams Did I play that to you?
Yeah. I've seen that.
Did I play the be the mouse and stir the bloody cheese or whatever? Anyway, so he's coming over and he's like, we'll go on a fishing charter. I was like, a fishing charter? Cool, mate. I'll organise I'll spew my ring up from day dot to the end.
Nothing worse.
Yeah, nothing worse.
There's nothing you can do about it. There's no escape. There's just I'm out.
Junket?
Oh, royal wedding. Prince Harry and Meghan.
Yeah.
That was just that utter shit. Like, what was I doing there? The best part was, so like Windsor, the driveway goes for like 1.5 km or whatever it is. You know, the picture of all the people on the sides. I wasn't there. I was even closer. Like in the buildings, there was a bar, like a pub. And that's where somehow they must have thought we were like the biggest radio station in Australia. That's where they propped me up in the bar for like 30 metres from the front gate.
Jesus.
And I've got a photo of like Megan and I was with her mate Tori. And she was like, not you to me away, but like maybe double that distance. But just eyeballing me.
Thinking I've made a mistake.
I was like, too late.
We're here.
But yeah, no, it's funny. Like I had to occasion that across to me and I'd be in a bar drinking. And I'm like, yeah, going great, mate. She's in a Givenchy dress. Yeah, fantastic scenes here. Cheers. And then I'd be back into the bar. Jeez, it was fun. And the FA Cup final was the next day.
Wow,
It's a big weekend. Love it.
So this last one from me, noticed a little tidbit on, I think, at the Inside Trading or whatever that column's called on afl.com.au, talking about they want to do something to make the draft a little bit better, a better product. So they brought it forward a week.
I'll give them a hint.
As in a better, like, for viewers.
For viewers,
to follow kind of thing.
yes.
Okay.
Do you want a hint?
What's your hint?
Get rid of your silly point system. Get rid of your silly academies and just have pick 1 to 50, the best in the business.
There's an element of that. But this is, and I think. So they were talking about bringing the draft coming forward, just having more people around. But I think it's a sort of a wider question about how do they make this draft process. A big part of making the draft process of the draft a bigger deal is making the under 18s and that kind of level of footy a bigger deal, putting more marketing around it, giving it some better oxygen.
The dream is the American
college system thing,
but there's the college system, which is equally as big as every other, as the professional.
Yeah, but I think the AFL can do it by like. So I would put it out there for some ideas, basically. But I think like that, when we talked about having the buys and having the reduced rounds, making a bigger deal out of the under 18 championships.
Who's on top of the ladder in the Colts over here this year?
I can tell you, Perth. It's on streamer.com.au. Perth Demons were undefeated until the other day. I don't know, but Harley Reid's playing. Yeah,
that's what I mean. You can't even name 10 teams. How are you going to get people watching a draft?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. So there needs to be the level below that needs more investment and more oxygen, I think. And so even that, like inward draft process, having to buy in the middle of the year and just running the state champs all weekend, like making it a big deal.
I'm a massive believer in curtain raisers. I love curtain raisers. I don't care what it does to the ground. I don't care about the silly corporate game that's been sold to play before. Get the under 18 kids on for pre-game for half an hour before they're finished, and the seniors can warm up then or whatever. Don't care. I think curtain raisers should be back in footy non-stop. Both VFL, Waffle, and under 18s.
Okay.
There you go. Cop that.
I don't know how feasible it is with the kids, but if you had like midweek night games when there's no other footy to compete with it, just like Foxtel Cup.
But actually done properly.
If you created a slot like a Wednesday night and you knew that every Wednesday night there was going to be some under 18s, juniors action and stuff, like we'd be watching that, right?
Year 12.
I'd tune into that. And that's the problem. But I'd totally, as a TV product, if there's nothing else that it's competing with sport-wise and it's a Wednesday night and you know it's on,
in Year 12 they're playing anyway.
Not on Wednesday night. Not on Wednesday night in Perth.
No.
What do you want, little Johnny from Melbourne Grammar to have 3 days off school to come over?
Oh, you mean coming like it's a national competition sort of thing?
Do you mean the state stuff, or do you mean
either or?
Yeah. Or you do it state-based and then have a knockout comp at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But then they're going to say, well, like the country kids. I was 3 hours from Orwell, 8 hours from Ballarat.
You weren't driving back every afternoon after school.
What do you mean? No, but I'm just like, so I didn't, but not every kid in my area went to a private boarding school.
Yeah.
So they were.
Yeah. I get it'd be tough to do, but if there was a way to do it,
I agree.
and it was a weeknight slot and it wasn't competing because if it's...
I don't want to poo-poo,
If it's on a Saturday or something, it just gets lost in the middle, like, I'm watching this or I'm doing that.
I think there's improvements across the board, and it's the same people talking, I think, in the draft process, and it's... there's a little bit of insight, but it's the same sort of stuff every year. There's a lot of work to be done around it.
The worst part of the draft is when they pick a kid with pick 30 and go, "Ooh, there's a bit of Dustin Martin about him."
Yeah, Dustin Martin
there's
across
not.
to Lance Franklin.
No, there's
If
not.
there was, he would have been taking the first 29. But I completely agree with that. That's the number one thing is that you have to know who a
these
lot of
people
these
are.
kids are to care about them and go, oh, geez, that club got
Gee, I hope
this
we
guy.
get so and so from here.
Yeah,
Totally,
and not just
totally.
in the 2 weeks before the draft.
Yeah,
it's got to be a
totally.
year-long process.
Totally.
Oh, I think that's the points done. So now it's time for
Hardball bets. Thanks to the Tab Touch app.
probably going well here, Robbo. You kick us off, mate. So
Okay.
You're, so
Well, given my my punny's been horrible, but given my earlier point about West Coast and their first quarters, the quarter time line for West Coast and Essendon is 11.5. So I'm taking Essendon to be up by more than 11.5, which is $1.90 just by itself. I'm going to multi in a few because I'm having a ping at the stumps. Bulldogs by 1-39 against Richmond, and the Pies and the D's that pays $5.80 for the
you really
weekend.
are trying to get out
I've
of
just
the
got to
hole
go
there.
for it. I'm in a big
Just
hole.
swing.
Big
I'm
hole.
trying to keep it steady to the end of the year. Hopefully,
Okay,
just get
so
it,
you're just playing it
come
safe.
out of it.
You're just running down the clock. Just
Yeah.
okay, that's
so I'm
fine.
just going to go
Sure.
on Friday night. Western Bulldogs, Richmond, Aaron Norton to get 3 goals is $2.35. So hopefully, just roll the arm over there.
That's it.
Get a little bit in there. Yeah, straight up.
It's very dour
man.
defensive.
No, if
play,
I'm
anyone's-
obviously.
glad I hung around for that.
If anyone's
earned the
following
right.
me into
You've
this
earned the
stage
right.
of the season, they need some serious help regardless. So that was the hard ball bets. Thanks to Tab Touch and the Tab Touch app. Got the touch this AFL season. Choose Tab Touch. Better your bet with Tab Touch. What's the Gambler's Help number?
1-800-858-858.
Call it.
Chances are you're about to lose.
And this has been the Hardball Gets AFL show, proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do you. We'll see you next week.